Next up at UFC San Antonio, we have the feature fight of the evening. We have Nate the Train.
It'd be awesome because there's a train tracks like right by my apartment. If all of a sudden I heard a train, I opened the thing and they blew the whistle right when you were saying that. Oh my God! If only God would let us.
And only the nicest places are sandwiched between high schools and railroad tracks. Nate Landwehr taking on Austin Lingo. Nate Landwehr 16-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the underdog win.
Are you laughing at yourself?
No.
It sounds like you thought about it.
I wasn't laughing at myself. I looked at your face.
No,
I looked at
your second one of the night and you just couldn't help but just fucking giggling.
I wasn't laughing at myself. It was,
that was
your
a good
face.
One. Oh my God. Can't believe you didn't reach back and pat yourself on the back fucking literally, you stupid fuck.
I can't reach my
Don't
back.
ever talk to me like that again.
It was
you said you can't reach back there. That's 3. Hey.
It was your
That's 3 now. 3 laughs from Angelo. That's a fucking record. Holy shit.
Yeah. I'll have sex with my chair in live streams, and then we just don't need you anymore, do we?
Well, consensual.
Nate Landwehr taking on Austin Lingo. Nate Landwehr 16-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the underdog win. He was Jacob's lock of the week against David Onama. He's taking on Austin Lingo, 9-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming in after his UFC Las Vegas fight was canceled. Wasn't his fault. His opponent missed weight by like 9 pounds, something absurd. Fight was canceled. He is now fighting in Texas. He is a Texas boy. So I'm sure him, similar to, what's her name from earlier? Haley Cowan from earlier.
Andrew Lee?
But Andrew Lee was already on this card.
I meant just people, Texan fighters that are fighting.
There's a lot of Texans on it. It's a fucking Texas card, dummy.
Oh.
So he cut weight, did all the things, and now 2 weeks later going through the whole thing all over again. That is a concern for me, but I still think Nate's going to get it done. But Nate the Train, fights like a train. He just keeps moving forward, absolutely wild, sets a pace, just chases finishes, and will do anything possible to get that fight to the ground and get it over with. He is high intensity, high pressure. Both his striking and his grappling are high intensity, high pressure. And I mentioned he's coming off that win over David Onama. He had 3 takedowns, 2 submission attempts, landed more strikes, but he was still knocked down and still almost finished.
Well,
and that's why
I think we need to give him a little bit more credit because he was completely unconscious. I mean, he got hit and was like just frozen. And once he hit the mat, he like woke back up. He literally was put out unconscious, hit the mat, and came back and won that fight.
Well, and that's what makes this pick a little trickier than what you think it should be, because Austin Lingo, he just cut weight 2 weeks ago. This is short notice-ish. He should lose, right? Nate should be better. He should be grittier. He should be able to get it done. But Austin Lingo hits very hard. We haven't seen him win by knockout yet in the UFC, but he has knockdowns in his 2 UFC wins. He's a striker. He's light on his feet. He's got speed. He's got that power. He mixes in elbows really nicely, uses his jab really well. And I mentioned no knockouts yet, but has 2 knockdowns in the UFC, and his takedown defense is 80%. And he's going to need that in this fight. I do think Nate's going to win. I think he's going to set that pace. I think he's going to come forward. I think it's going to be high pressure. So I do think Nate's going to win, but it's going to be dicey. He's going to be hit. And Austin Lingo is very, very good. And the reason I'm leaning Nate is that weight cut 2 weeks in a row, or 2 times in 3 weeks. That does do something to your body. That does affect your cardio, and you need all your cardio against a guy like Nate. So Nate's going to be the pick, but not touching it. Don't like these odds. Austin Lingo is much, much better than what these odds are saying. What do you think, Jakey? Boy.
Yeah, Nate the Train, I mean, one of the greatest lock of the weeks of all time, especially because I said that's exactly how it's going to play out. He was going to have to overcome some early adversity, and then he was going to be able to outwork him, and that's exactly what happened. The issue for this fight is, yes, he is the better fighter than Austin Lingo, basically everywhere, right? And Angelo mentioned the grappling advantage that he should have in the wrestling and the grappling. And he should be able to outwork Austin Lingo. Austin Lingo's a tough dude. I don't think he's going to be able to out-tough Austin Lingo kind of as he did David Onama, but as far as like outwork him, I think he can kind of outwork him, put him on the back foot, and win the fight that way. The issue is, and what Nate Landwehr showed in his last fight, he doesn't give a fuck about winning the fight. He wants to be entertaining. I mean, in the second round, in the third round of that fight, he had this guy, David Onama, in like a full crucifix, basically. Just needed to land 2 more strikes, and he could have finished it. He just stood up, walked away, let David Onama get back to his feet, and then he almost got knocked out a couple times because of it. I mean, he was not holding positions because he wanted to play to the crowd, and this is in front of a crowd, and they are going to go absolutely crazy. So I don't think that he's going to use wrestling. He's going to use grappling. He's just going to come in. He wants to be entertaining. He's going to throw crazy strikes, chin up. I mean, he will stand in front of you with his hands and be like, fucking hit me if you want to. And that's just so dangerous for a guy from minus 250 money. So yeah, he's the better overall fighter, but if he's just going to stand and throw haymakers and box with this guy, Austin Lingo, this literally is a coin flip fight. This is a coin flip fight. I mean, Nate gets dropped by everyone, and he might have to overcome some adversity again. So yeah, Nate's the better fighter, but he's shown I'm willing to not be the better fighter, and lose a fight to be entertaining. He doesn't care. He wants to be the entertaining guy, and that's always dangerous for somebody to bet on. Always dangerous.
No, 100%, and he's sitting at a $9,400 in DraftKings, a minus 225 favorite. I don't think he's going to finish Austin Lingo. Austin Lingo is very tough. Austin Lingo's much better than, people think he's better than the opening odds because now he was bet down from plus 250 to plus 190. Still almost a 2-1 underdog, and I may throw a couple of bucks on him in that underdog spot. I don't typically bet on underdogs that I don't pick to win because that just feels like wasted money.
Right.
But I'm just going to have to see how the weigh-ins go because the weigh-in is the reason I went with Nate Landwehr. The fact that Austin Lingo weighed in 2 weeks ago, flew to Vegas, did all the things.
Because then it's like, do you put the weight back on? How much weight do you put back on?
It's a lot. It's a lot going on. How soon was he matched up?
But mentally, it's like, when do I start the cut again? How heavy can I get?
How soon was he matched up with Nate? Like, when did those conversations start? Did he there's so much that goes into that, and that does wear on your body. Like, we talk about athletes peaking, and did you peak at the right time? And that's a complete mess to cut all that weight, make it, then be that disappointed, probably ate his face off for a few days. Who knows when they said, oh, actually, in your town, so there's a lot going on there. That's the only reason I picked Nate, because without all of that, if this was just straight up full camp, I think I'm picking Austin Lingo. We'll see how weigh-ins go, what he looks like, and I may end up with a bet on Austin Lingo, so make sure you are a premium member and you have your Discord linked, because I film the betting video before the weigh-ins. So if things change after weigh-ins or during weigh-ins, premium members, you'll get those alerts. You'll see those bets. You'll see the new props. Those drop after weigh-ins as well. WeOwnPicks.com is $10 a month. Do not be a cheap bastard. Like, what are we talking about? Even if you don't bet.
It's $2.48 a card.
Even if you don't bet, you don't do any of those things, you just love the content, love what we're doing, become a premium member, because it's not just about that. We do our live call-in show on Thursdays. You can call in, ask us questions, interact with us on the stream. That is only for premium members. And we have so much more that we're going to give to premium members that are outside of sort of just the bets and just more content related, fun, interactive stuff. WeOwnPicks.com, $10 a month.